Blake Lively drops her newly amended complaint late last night. And in this complaint, she says that there were other people that were uncomfortable on the set of It Ends With Us. So are they really using the complaints that we just read just a few days ago?
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Late last night, Blake Lively's team dropped the brand new amended complaint that everybody's been waiting for. And of course, a lot of people are already combing through it, scanning through it, trying to find any new bombshells that are in that complaint. And one of the things that's very interesting about this is what you see in this title right here. At the bottom, it says, "It wasn't just me who felt uncomfortable." Now, the question remains, are they really using the complaints that we talked about over the past couple days? Of course, I believe them to be fake. I don't think that they're real. If they were real complaints, why didn't any HR, SAG, Sony, Wayfair, why didn't any of them actually say that, yes, there were complaints filed by other co-stars or other actors on the set, from the set of It Ends With Us? It seems a bit odd to me. That's all I'm saying. Now, I don't know if those complaints are the ones that are being used in this lawsuit, but it does still make you wonder, could that, what we're all deeming to be fan fiction, okay, of those complaints that we're all calling fan fiction, could those be the ones that she's using as, I guess, quote unquote, smoking gun evidence? I don't know, but let's get into this article. I think this is very, very interesting. Okay, so Blake Lively says Justin Baldoni not only SH'd her, but he also made two other women feel uncomfortable. Remember the two. One says that he put his hands on her bottom. The other one was he was panting and doing the O face. Okay. You know, when two people love each other and they get together, you get to a certain point, and that's when you know that the session of that love making ends. Okay, it ends with that. It ends with an O face. See what I did there? I'm proud of myself now. But nonetheless, right? Apparently, he was panting and in her face so much that makeup melted off of her face. Remember, I was like, you know what I mean? Seems a little bit weird, right? Maybe that is the stuff. Let's get into this. She says two women felt uncomfortable, okay, on the set of It Ends With Us, all right? And both are willing to testify. Both of them are willing to testify against him at trial, according to the new court filing. This is very interesting. So last night, Blake filed an amended complaint to her original lawsuit against Baldoni, which lays out new allegations that paint Justin in a very negative light. Obviously, we've already known about this, even all the way back to when the news article came out and all that as well, right? So this 141-page document, so like I said, is a big old document, and dear Lord, happy reading, everybody, okay? But Blake says she was not alone. She is not alone. She's not alone now in complaining about Baldoni and raising concerns about his behavior during their work together on the movie produced by Sony and Wayfair starting in 2023. So in other words, notice you hear Sony, you notice you hear Wayfair. Sounds like she is actually using these complaints that we read, that we all believe to be fake news, right? Interesting. She says Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing, acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time, okay? So he acknowledged them, which runs contrary to his current narrative that he has invented. So Blake says Baldoni knew that women other than Miss Lively also were uncomfortable and had complained about his behavior. Again, so he's known about this. These complaints were apparently, okay. I mean, if these complaints were actually sent to Sony and Wayfair, this is going to be interesting. It'd be weird to try to protect a monster. If, like I said, if they were to send them and Sony and Wayfair just kind of threw them in the shredder, still doesn't make sense to me. Okay. Blake also claims the women who are unnamed in the amended complaint gave Blake permission to share the substance of their communications, and they will testify and produce responsive documents in the discovery process. So they're willing to take the stand. They're willing to show any type of correspondence of any kind revolving around this particular situation. And she believes that this is enough to take Justin Baldoni down. Very interesting. In addition, Blake claims a female cast member reported her concerns to Sony's Angie Giannetti and a producer of the film after Lively had already aired her grievances to film executives. Like, see, this is just Let's move on, though. Blake says the female cast member had strong reservations about coming forward, but she did anyway because she felt the movie was, quote unquote, suffering as a result of Mr. Baldoni's behavior. Giannetti, Blake says, shared those concerns with Wayfair. So now they're saying that Giannetti, one of the producers, or I guess, Giannetti's, I guess, I don't know what level of where she stands, okay, in Sony, but she works for Sony. So allegedly, these things were sent to Angie Giannetti and another producer on the film. And apparently, they were about concerns on Baldoni's behavior. And then those things never went up the ranks, never went to where they needed to go to. Bring in an investigation while the movie was while in production of this movie. Like, what's going on here, right? Very interesting. Blake says Baldoni wrote an email to the female cast member that he has, that quote unquote, he was aware of her concerns and that adjustments would be made. He wrote this to an actual female cast member saying, hey, I understand what you're concerned about. I'm sorry. I'll be better. We're going to make some changes, okay? So that things aren't weird. But Wayfair took, quote unquote, took no actions to investigate this reported conduct, nor did it implement any protections at that time. So they allegedly saw it, didn't do anything about it, threw it over to the side, let it collect dust. And then they said, like, we got to finish the picture. So let's get going. We got millions of dollars on we got millions of dollars riding on this thing. So we got to keep it moving. But they did nothing to try to take care of their actors, their employees, to be really real in regards to this whole thing. And this is allegedly from what Blake is saying in this lawsuit. Okay. Blake says the same cast member even expressed concerns to her about the conditions on set, saying it was, quote unquote, really hard to speak with Baldoni. Oh boy. Blake goes on to say that another female cast member confided to her that she felt uneasy on set, and her concerns were also documented in writing nearly a year before editing on the film had started. Okay, so this sounds like those complaints that we read, the ones that we saw as fictitious writings, okay, fabricated BS. It sounds like those are the things that she's referring to. Okay, so this is interesting. What's more, Blake's attorneys have added a defamation claim to the amended complaint, accusing Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, of making inflammatory content to media outlets while quote unquote saying anything, whether true or false, that will harm Miss Lively's credibility and intimidate others from speaking up on her behalf. Wow. Okay. And then in her original lawsuit, she accused Baldoni of SH and waging a campaign to destroy her reputation, as well as mental pain and anguish, severe emotional stress, and lost wages Okay. And of course, we already know he's filed his own lawsuit, but now we have this new amended complaint. And what's really interesting about this is that, yeah, it definitely sounds a lot like those complaints that we saw could very well be the complaints that she's using. That those two other women that she says that she's having as not only just victims, not only just witnesses, but actually victims of these allegations, she's going to be using that stuff, and it looks like she's going to be bringing them in. They're willing to testify. They're willing to stand 10 toes down and try to show proof positive that Justin Baldoni is a bad guy. Now, what's interesting about this, though, too, is that she's saying that these complaints were indeed sent to Sony and Wayfair. And there are emails in which Justin Baldoni acknowledges that there are some things that need to be fixed. Like he says, okay, I'm sorry, my bad, lo siento. Things got a little weird there. We will be better. We will continue marching forward. Things will be better. I promise, I promise, I promise. Very interesting, right? Yet we hear that Sony and Wayfair, at least on those things, have not received not one complaint whatsoever. So what's going on? Like, and also it's like, did these complaints come out way after the fact? That'd be weird too. I'm not sitting here saying that no one should step forward and say, if it's true, I'm not sitting here saying that no one should step forward and say, hey, he put his hands on me, or he did something that was a little too intense and a little and wrong. Okay. That was not okay with me. And I'm sending out that report right now. But the fact that Sony and Wayfair are still saying that they received nothing from anyone, no complaints about Justin Baldoni, seems a little bit strange, right? It could go two different ways. One, they got the reports and they set them aside and they said, Justin, take care of what you need to take care of. We got a lot of money on the line for this movie. This is going to be big. We got to make sure this is done right? Or they never really received any of these reports at all. And all of this is just coming out now. So what say you guys? I mean, for me, I'm side-eyeing the hell out of this. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but what's your thoughts? Okay. Then also on top of that, Brian Friedman getting hit with defamation for what? For showing proof positive that Justin Baldoni, at least in some of this footage, is being cordial. They're in a work environment and he's being as respectful as he possibly can. And he's acting whilst directing. He's wearing 3 different hats at the same time almost, if you really think about it. He's acting, he's directing, and he's having a conversation with Blake Lively, trying to keep it cool so he can get the footage that he needs to move on to the next scene, right? But like I said before, they need to expose it all the dailies, all the footage, the allegation, like I said, those complaints that came out that we read, especially that scene where she's supposed to be wearing, he was like, I need you completely in your birthday suit and all that. I need all that stuff. While you're giving birth, you need to be in your birthday suit, right? If any of that stuff with the friend that played the doctor, and she was like, I don't know who this dude is, and all that, right? All those moments, if they were actually caught on film, where are they at? Show them all. In fact, even the complaint saying that he put his hand on one of the actress's bottoms and she was not cool with it, right? Allegedly, that was caught on film too. Him putting his hand on someone's rear end. Where's that footage? All I'm saying is, might as well put out all the dailies. That means all the footage that was shot in the production of It Ends With Us. Just put it on the website. Blur out what you need to blur out, right? Make sure those things are redacted and all that. But of course, put it all out there. Just warts and all. Let's just see every single take, just to see if he's doing what they're allegedly saying that he's doing, especially when they're talking about him panting and breathing so hard on somebody's face that the makeup on her face melts off. That's crazy. Okay, that's wild. I'd like to see the Carfax on that too. Okay, show me the facts. And I think all of us are waiting for that too. But what say you guys? I know I just asked you guys that a second ago, but what say you guys? Okay, on all these allegations. Okay, I think, I don't know. I'm side eyeing the hell out of this. I really want to see some emails. I really want to see if he was responding to any of these things, because this is very, very strange and very, very interesting. But I'm going to leave it right there. There's so much to talk about with this whole new amended complaint. There's so many other pieces of news that are coming out, and we got to talk about it. So be sure you hit that like button down below. Of course, comment down below. Let's not forget to do that. Of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because there's going to be a slew of things coming out today, sporadically throughout the day, that I'm sure you're not going to want to miss on these updates. Okay? So anyway, we'll be talking soon. This is crazy, but yeah, the complaints that we read a couple days ago could very well be what she's using. Fan fiction, guys. At least that's what we're saying right now. Is fan fiction. Wild. Wild indeed. We'll talk here very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.